So if you've been following this channel for this entire draft period, you know I often criticize teams pretty heavily for drafting running backs early on, and by early on, I mean basically ever. For me, the ideal time to draft a running back would be day 3. I think you can get some good quality backs at that spot, and you don't have to give up too much draft capital to do so. That being said, if there's one scenario that I can picture where I actually don't mind drafting a running back in the first or second round, it would be a scenario like the Buffalo Bills, who have a complete roster except for the running back. They're ready to be competitive now, so they're going out and getting someone who will immediately help them, because the one benefit of a running back is they tend to be at their best in the first couple of years after they get drafted, and especially someone like James Cook, who does not have too much wear and tear on his body, which, goes both ways. A, not a big sample size to draw from, but B, he is someone who doesn't have too much wear and tear and could play for a lot longer and might not get hurt too much. So that's the fascinating thing about him. I want to talk about his film and really what I like about him, because I think he will bring a lot to this Buffalo Bills team. I think you can have a healthy debate as to whether or not drafting a running back is the right call, but I think that the debate of will he help the team or not is not a, tough one, because I do think he will help the team. Let's talk about why. First, I want to talk about some blocking for a second. Listen, another thing you might notice if you've been following this channel is how important it is, in my opinion, to be a good blocking halfback. I think that that's a huge aspect of being a running back. With the passing game becoming as important as it is, I want someone who knows how to pick up a blitz, who knows how to block, because those are traits that can help win you Super Bowls, and it's a super important aspect in football. This is an example of Cook doing exactly that, so you see I've highlighted an Alabama player who's blitzing, but this is going to be a bit of a unique scenario, because watch what happens. Watch how he blitzes, but the center picks it up and blocks him to the center's left. But now there is a twist going on with Alabama. Another defensive lineman reads this. I believe this was actually by design, where he's going to run over and get to the other side of the center, which allows for a gap in between the center and right guard. However, this is where James Cook comes in. This is where he has to read this play and make the play. And as you see, Cook does a great job of just being able to get in the way to where you're able to make a block. Again, this stuff is important. You don't expect a halfback to be looking like they're Rob Gronkowski out there. You don't want that. You don't think they're going to be Trent Williams. All you want is someone who can read a blitz and throw their body in the way. And Cook, despite being a little bit smaller, can do that. Look, this is another one for me where, again, you see that it's that Alabama player who is going to be blitzing here, and watch what happens with Cook. As you see, Cook does pick it up once again, throws his body in the way, and allows the quarterback to have time to make the throw. So just being able to do that, to some degree, being a blocking halfback is kind of binary. It's kind of one of those, either you do it or you don't do it. He does it, and that's good, because that'll, again, you want to protect Josh Allen, right? If teams blitz him and someone gets through completely untouched, you want Cook to be able to make that play. Now, maybe it was coaching. Maybe his quarterback at Georgia was helping him out. I don't know, but I still feel like if he can do it at college, he can probably do it at the NFL level. And also stuff like this, where this is just going to be a simple flat route, so it's not really too complicated of a play, but watch how well he runs this route. Look, you do see him get to the flat well. He's explosive enough in the receiving game, and that's something that's cool, and that actually might be the real way he gets used in Buffalo in a lot of ways, is just as kind of those check down routes where you can allow for someone like Josh Allen to just have another option there, and having a good receiving back could help. As you see, Cook, once he makes the grab, is able to make some moves and pick up, not pick up the first down, actually. That was one of those sneaky scenarios where they got past the initial line of scrimmage. So gets within 10 yards of a first down, but a good play by James Cook. And again, he's someone who, is he the best receiver you'll ever see? No. Is he the best blocking halfback you'll ever see? No. But if you can do both those things, it'll help you get on the field. I promise you that. Something like this. So it's going to be let's get into some actual running plays now. Why don't we? That's going to be they're pulling both their left guard and left tackle from the left all the way over to the right. So Cook will follow them. And look, as you see, right when this play begins, you do see that, hey, offensive line doing a good job. There is a gap where Cook can run through. And as you see, Cook is just off. I mean, watch him just go. He has explosiveness and is able to pick up some, moves there. I paused it just to, copyright reasons, have to pause it for a second. But then you see him run and pick up a good amount of yards. So he has home run hitting ability on top of that. And that's something that's great for Buffalo. I mean, if they can find a way to get guys to be able to hit home runs in the running game, that would go a long way. Something like this, where you're going to have him go to the outside on this play. It's just going to be a little flip to him, and then it's going to, get him outside of tackles, and watch what happens. As you see, so, to flip it to Cook, and an Alabama player is definitely disrupting this play. This could be a tackle for a loss if Cook is not careful. However, Cook still does a great job of getting past him and getting to the first down, or at least close to it. So great play by James Cook to be able to, move that, get around that. Listen, this is kind of a bit of a highlight reel play. He is someone who, one of my criticisms of him, which I didn't get an example of, but is something I noticed, is he will go down pretty easy at times, but this time did a good job of using his shiftiness to not allow that to happen. Finally, something like this, again, so you see, you just have to pay attention to the center, left guard, and left tackle. Those are the blocks that are going to result in Cook trying to run through. Look, as you see, that's what happens. They clear up a hole for Cook to run through, and this is just kind of what I feel Cook can do a good job of. Look, as you see, he just shoots through the gap quickly and picks up the yards you want him to pick up, which is kind of what being a running back is at the end of the day, right? Is just getting through the gap that you're supposed to get through, and getting there as quickly as possible. That's very much the runner James Cook is, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's, he's a really exciting player. That's definitely something that is I feel very strongly about with James Cook, and with a late second round pick, it's probably a good pick. It's probably something that helps them out a lot, at least this year. You're trying to be competitive right now. You have a Super Bowl window. Go for it. This is the Super Bowl window style of pick, and this is the kind of team that I'm cool with selecting a halfback. James Cook was not one of my top halfbacks, but I do think he'll fit that system well. I think that he is someone who can be a good runner and can be effective. Now, I think some fans are getting a little bit more excited due to the fact that he is brothers of Dalvin Cook, who obviously is an awesome halfback. James Cook is not the prospect that Dalvin Cook was coming out of college. They're different levels of prospect. But James Cook still has a lot of things that I like about him. He's a complete halfback and can run with the football pretty well. His highlights are electric. His highlights are as good as any halfback highlights are in this class. I don't know if he has the consistency as like a pure runner, as a Kenneth Walker, for example. So that might be, something. I don't think he's quite, Breece Hall, I also think is a better pure runner. So there's a few guys that I think that, I like more than Cook. But again, those guys were gone by then. So Cook is definitely someone who I do think could be a real benefit to this Buffalo Bills team. I don't think this means that the Bills are going to be running the ball 30 times a game now, right? There's definitely still going to be a passing team. They definitely should still be a passing team. And I think getting a guy who can pass catch is not coincidental in the halfback game. I don't think they just accidentally ended up with a good pass-catching halfback as well. No. This was very much an intentional decision to get someone who can also help in the passing game because it's a passing league. But, listen, you play in Buffalo. If it's windy, again, like that Patriots game where Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times, maybe you can take some pressure off of someone like Josh Allen a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. But as a whole, I do think that this is a very fascinating situation and, an exciting pick. Is this the best pick in the world? I don't know. Is it a fun pick? Yeah, it's the most fun pick they could have done. That's absolutely true. And hey, football's about entertainment. The Bills are always entertaining, and this will be, make them even more entertaining. So that's fun. So that's what I think about this selection. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on James Cook to the Buffalo Bills? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.